So, Penn State Media Day.
That's right.
The Eagles report to camp.
Yep.
Philly reports to camp.
Steelers, yeah.
I said Philly and then Eagles.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Well, you guys know what I meant. You
Yeah.
picked up on what I was saying.
Yep.
We'll start with LeBron. I mean, we can beat around the bush and we kick the content can down the window or down the street all summer long, but football is officially here. Like, I mean, there's no joking now. Like, dudes are at Latrobe. Where's Philly camp?
It's in Philly. It's at the Jefferson Health Complex.
Okay, so I mean, people are at camp. You know, Matt Campbell is at Media Day. You know, he's on ESPN doing the car wash. It's football season, boys. We've been saying it all. The calendar never stops, and you know it's always it is. The NFL has started. We are not the Seahawks Super Bowl run. Cool, awesome. We'll raise the banner, but that's over with. I've gotten so many emails already about fantasy, about DraftKings, about FanDuel, about survivor pools, about just literally everything. I mean,
not even just that. 1 month from today, the high school football season kicks off.
Was it like 12 days from today? Or not even, like 9 days from today is the Hall of Fame game?
Something like that. Heat acclimation for high school starts on Monday. Every level of football is back.
No, you know what's weird is that college football doesn't start practice until super late compared to the others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they have
First,
stuff going
second
on
week
throughout all
August.
the summer, too, though.
Yeah, I know. They've been doing things, but I'm just saying, like, it's weird how, like, the NFL gets going. And, I mean, maybe in New York, high school gets going a little bit later than a PA. I think it does. But, yeah, I mean, what do we want to talk about? Dak's contract? Whether it's Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland. Who's going to get the first overall pick? What is Aaron Donald returning? I'm trying to think what other storylines. Aaron Rodgers' final goodbye.
Jalen Carter just got extended.
Yeah, he got paid. But but Jalen Carter getting paid isn't like a league story. I mean,
No.
the storylines I was talking about, like I said,
League-wide stories. I got you.
you know, whether or not Donald's coming back, because that's a massive story. When does Patrick Mahomes return? That's a big deal. You know, when does Bo Nix return? That's a big deal. You know, he got hurt super late in the season.
Daniel Jones got cleared for training camp.
He did.
Why do you keep bringing up things that don't matter?
Well, that does matter for your pick.
Yeah, it does. You're right. Let's go, Daniel Jones. Play him, baby. Play DJ. Right all the way until Arch Manning gets into a green jersey and his career's ruined. But that all being said, what matters most, I think, to the people that are listening at the moment, you mentioned Jalen Carter getting paid. Aaron Rodgers' final swan song, the return of Rodgers and McCarthy in Pittsburgh. Can Nick Sirianni and Vic Fangio replace some of the defensive pieces that got lost? Can you replace A.J. Brown? Are they that much better than the division than what the division was over the last few years? Because they were dominant in the division. All right, so where are we going? Ricky, I know where your vote is.
Yeah, I think we could start with Pittsburgh has their own contract issues with another star that they have.
Did you really just say start with the Eagles as you're wearing a Steelers shirt?
Start with the Eagles.
That was a curveball. That is not what I expected. I thought we were going to Black and Gold Nation, but okay. No, let's start with the Eagles. Yeah. Bounced in the first round last year. Obviously, I think the biggest thing heading into training camp this year with the Eagles, despite all the headlines with A.J. Brown and everything else, is the health of Lane Johnson and that offensive line. Because when Lane Johnson plays, the Eagles win. And when Lane Johnson doesn't play, the Eagles don't win. It's really kind of that simple.
Yeah, that's kind of been the storyline for the last couple of years of Johnson's career. I mean, he had his incredibly healthy season when they went to the Super Bowl, but last year missed a lot of time for the first time really in about a decade of his career.
And it was key
and
games.
it showed.
Yeah.
It showed. the Eagles regressed from where they were the year before, in large part because the offensive line couldn't get going. We talked about how Saquon Barkley didn't have those explosive plays. He did not have the offensive line that allowed him to have that kind of success. Cam Jurgens and Lane Dickerson were both banged up pretty much before the season started. And then Lane Johnson missing time. Tyler Steen wasn't all that great. And you can't make up for it when 4 of your 5 offensive line spots are either injured, underperforming, or a combination of the two. They enter camp healthy. That's going to be the key to their success this year, because that's been the way they've ran their offense really through the entirety of Eagles football in my lifetime. It's been built on the offensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you don't have some of the distractions. I don't think Devonta Smith ever provided to be the distraction. I know he probably wants the ball and he'll get more opportunities now, but he's not going to be sitting on the sideline reading a book where A.J. Brown was. I think he recognizes that the bread and butter is Saquon. But then again, and this is, I don't know if this is blasphemous to ask, Ricky, but Saquon's coming in year 9, and he did have, I guess year 8 because he missed a year with injury, but he's a 9th year running back. Now, granted, he is a running back on a completely different level than most throughout the league, and I would put him closer to that Derrick Henry type of player than not, and it's still incredible what that man is doing at his age and with those carries and the mileage that has been on this. But can we expect to see a bounce back from Saquon? And granted, everyone talks about, his numbers were down. You're not going to run for 2,000 yards every season. That's okay to say that was Saquon's career high. But are the numbers going to go back up closer to that, or do you think that we saw what Saquon's going to be going forward last season?
I think we can expect something closer to what we saw. Not last season, the year before that, where he had that record-breaking season. And it's funny, in a down year, the guy still had 1,100 yards, 10th in the NFL, 280 carries, 6th in the NFL, 7 touchdowns, just over 4 yards a carry, which was, I think, down a significant amount from the season before.
Yeah, but it was productive, and it was just that you're comparing it to what could be an MVP season.
And so I think we're going to see him flourish a little bit more. I think him and also Tank Bigsby, who was a part of, I guess, a positive part of that running back room towards the end of the year. You look at what they should be able to do. I think this Eagles offense should be better under the new offensive coordinator from the Green Bay Packers. I think they're going to be better in that area. The offensive line, I think, as you mentioned, the offensive line is probably going to be the key part of this equation. They're an aging veteran offensive line that has dealt with a lot of injuries. And just for the sake of maybe taking some of the load off of them, I don't think they could be as run-centric as they were in years past, because at some point, Jalen Hurts might have to throw the ball a little bit more. And I think that could be one of those seasons. You have Devontae Smith, you have Mekhi Lemon. I think that could be coming this season as well.
So what do we expect this year from Jalen Hurts? What do we expect? What is that offense supposed to look like? Because yes, at some point in time, you can just put 8 in the box. At some point in time, even with Lane Johnson and a healthy offensive line, you can't tush-push all the way down the field. You have to be able to throw the ball down the field, even if it's a too high safety look. Does Jalen Hurts, too many Jalens in Philadelphia. Does Jalen Hurts take the next step? Does he progress and be able to throw the ball downfield, or is he really the 17th best quarterback in the NFL?
I think Jalen Hurts has always been able to push the ball down the field. I think Philly's offense was just too vanilla in how they did that. It was mostly deep shots to A.J. Brown. So you have to find ways to do that. And again, it isn't always just streaks down the field. A big part of the passing attack is also, can you attack the intermediate part of the field? And I think this is where Mekhi Lemon comes in. Mekhi Lemon is a separator. He's not a big guy, but he is a guy who can separate over the middle of the field. He's pretty he can separate really well. He's really good after the catch. Same thing with Devontae Smith, who could also extend the field. I think they should be.
They have guys, yeah.
Yeah, they have guys. I just think they're going to be a little bit more adept in trying to attack the intermediate part of the field, because A.J. Brown, no doubt the loss of him is going to hurt them, just strictly streaks, pushing the ball, because he's one of the best, back shoulder jump ball contest to catch guys in the NFL. I don't think they're going to be able to do that, but where they do have is guys who have silky smooth route running and can separate and can really.
We are so back. I just heard a silky smooth route running. Football is so. Can we get a matriculate down the field before the end of the segment?
Yeah, I mean, we probably will.
Okay.
Maybe I'll mix that in the Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh has their issues pushing the ball down the field as well.
Oh, God, I love that football is back. How great is this?
It's amazing.
I mean, okay, right here, right now, our way too soon Super Bowl pick.
July 28th.
Yes.
That's
How
why
far?
it's
Wait,
way too
what are we into the segment right now?
We're 11
Okay.
minutes.
All right,
into
we're
the
going to take a
segment.
break right after this. But right here, right now, our way too soon Super Bowl pick. Put that away. No cheating.
I'm looking
No
at the-
cheating. No cheating.
Looking at the
And now you
divisions.
go first. Your way too soon Super Bowl pick.
Winner?
Both.
matchup?
I need matchup and winner.
All right, winner. I'll say the Rams.
Okay. Who they beating?
I'll say they beat Denver. I like the addition of Jalen Waddle. I think the defense is still really good. I think Bo Nix can, if not take that next step, keep at the level he was last year, where they were on the precipice of making the Super Bowl anyway. I think him being back fully healthy helps them. So I'll say the Rams beat the Broncos.
All right. Oh, no, don't put me up first. You got to. No, you want me to go first? All right. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you could go.
All right. I'll go first. I see a Rams making it to the NFC Championship game, but there's something that with those dream teams that when you put too many things together, and I love Sean McVay, I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I think that is a good squad. I do think that they get to the NFC Championship game. However, I don't have them winning. I think, and I can't believe I'm saying this in this day and age, but if the Knicks can win an NBA championship, anything can happen, and the Madden curse will be broken. I like the Bears. I like the Bears a lot. I think the Bears come out of the NFC, and I think in the AFC, a healthy Joe Burrow with a solid defense, and Cincinnati finally gets a Super Bowl, and Joe Burrow gets a ring.
That would be a really fun one.
I got Joe Burrow versus Caleb Williams in the Super Bowl. Richard?
Well, in the NFC, I'm still going to go the Rams. I get what you're saying about the dream teams, but I think just when you look at this team all around, they're just so well constructed. I think the Eagles will meet them in the NFC Championship game, but this time I think the game's going to be played in LA, so I think that benefits the Rams a little bit more. As for the AFC, the AFC is a bit of a toss up.
Tell me we're about to get a Rams Chargers at home dual team Super Bowl.
Not going to go with the Chargers, but what I will. Hold on.
Who do you call? Just got engaged too. Herbert.
I was going to say he finally got a ring.
No, that joke only works with Josh Allen, okay? Because I actually do think Herbert has a chance of getting a ring, especially with a Harbaugh as a coach. The only ring that Josh Allen will ever have will be the one that he's put on Haley Seinfeld's finger.
For the AFC,
he's cheating. He's looking.
I'm just looking at the teams in the AFC.
Give us the Steelers.
That's what I was.
Give us the Steelers.
I look at the AFC and I just see a bunch of hodgepodges of.
Well, this was supposed to be a quick bit to throw to commercial or to break.
But
So
I'm going to. I hate to piggyback here, but I'm gonna have to also go with the Denver Broncos.
Oh my God! All right. We're gonna go to break. We got 2 Broncos going up against 2 Rams, and we got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Chicago Bears in our way too soon Super Bowl picks. Can we do next year's Super Bowl, or should we do the first round pick or the first overall pick in this year's draft already? So no, we're coming right back. 28-22 Sports Night. We're gonna check in with the Steelers. We're gonna check in with the Eagles, and we're also checking in as Penn State showed up for Media Day today. So don't go anywhere. It is a football Tuesday. All right, we said we were going to go to the Eagles, but I don't know if we really truly went to the Eagles. And we definitely are going to check in Latrobe as well. But I guess the big story of the day, let's start with the Eagles because that is the big story of the day. That is what broke earlier this afternoon. I believe Schefter again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Schefter reporting. Jalen Carter getting paid. Contract extension done. Avoiding any holdout at camp. Avoiding missing any practices. Yeah. I mean, it's something that needed to get done. He was the anchor of that defense, and they lost a lot of pieces, especially on the back end. So being able to bring some pressure up the middle is something that Vic Fangio needs to be able to support his defensive style, especially the amount of responsibility and pressure that he puts his corners on. So, I mean, and certainly in this NFL, being able to get pressure up the middle, being able to get pressure with 4, that's what makes the difference. If you can rush the quarterback and not have to bring an extra man, I mean, that's pretty much the game plan to win a Super Bowl over the last few years. That's kind of what's done it more or less. So, Jalen Carter getting paid. I see you got the article up. What are the details being reported at the moment?
Yeah, so current reports are that it's a 4-year deal worth $152 million and can go up to $160 million with incentives. $106 million guaranteed, the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history. Another example of the Eagles taking care of their homegrown stars, getting extensions done before the market resets itself. Of course, we were talking about yesterday that Vita Vea requested a trade, and Howie Roseman, once again, getting ahead of the curve, paying Jalen Carter on a contract that is probably going to age pretty well. It's also banking on him taking a bit more of a step after a down-ish year. Last year only had 3.5 sacks, had some shoulder injuries near the end. It's banking on him staying healthy, which has been a little bit of an issue, but when healthy, one of the most disruptive defensive tackles in all of football gets his deal and another extension for an Eagles defensive tackle after Jordan Davis got extended back in March. And the Eagles doing what they do, again, with their homegrown talent, getting them paid early.
Yes, they've made homegrown talent a priority. They've paid a lot of their recent draft picks, and this is another one, as you mentioned, really betting on upside with Jalen Carter, because as you mentioned, he's been hurt, but when he's healthy, extremely disrupted. I think he also got suspended last year, first game of the year, after spitting on Dak Prescott. He got ejected.
Yeah, but you know what? You looked back, and it was... Didn't we look back at the tapes and see that Dak actually initiated that? Like, wasn't it something that when we looked back at it was like, whoa,
Dak
I don't know.
spit on the ground in front of him.
Okay.
Jalen.
Yeah, I understand, but
Yes.
it wasn't as bad. I do remember that it was like the second play of the game or the first play of the game, or was it even
was
before the first play of the game?
It was after the opening kickoff.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yes.
the first play of the game didn't even happen yet. So
Yeah, but Jalen Carter, outstanding player. But yes, you would like to see him get back to that. I forget where he was the year before that.
Pro
that
Bowl.
8 to 10 sack mark. Because he's, again, when he is right, he is one of the most disruptive interior defensive linemen in the NFL. But what I do find interesting is they're going to have a similar decision to make next offseason. You have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Just a little preview in the next offseason. They're going to have to make a decision on those two as well, similarly with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And when you draft well, unfortunately, this is what you run into, but it is also a good problem to have.
Yeah, it feels like those extensions are going to get done as quickly as possible. There were some questions about, Carter's market value and whether or not the Eagles would be willing to meet that. There was a potential trade floated around with the 49ers, which I don't know how much validity there was behind those rumors, but it seems like in the end, the Eagles keep their guy in the building. Seems like the Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean contracts will be done similarly. If you had to pick one, I would obviously say Mitchell,
Yes.
just because he's been a shutdown, bona fide number one corner. DeJean is more of a Swiss Army knife around the defense, but when you have that shutdown number one corner,
and that's
getting
something
him
that's,
paid is
I mean, again, in Vic Fangio's offense or defense, the things that matter the most are getting the pressure up the middle. So you have Davis, you have Carter.
even Moro Jomo had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah, he did. But again, I mean, you have Davis and Carter. I mean, anyone who
Milton
had
Williams got a big contract off of that.
again, you had Davis and Carter. I mean, those are two big names. We're keeping it up here, and you keep throwing us back into the
Williams
middle.
got paid. He
Okay,
went to
so
the
you have
Super
Davis
Bowl.
and Carter, and then yes, you do need a true number one corner so you can lock down half the field and let guys like the Swiss Army knives be able to succeed. I don't think that DeJean is a system guy. I think he works in any system, but I do think that the ability to roam and do some of the things that you can do outside of the traditional defensive schemes are where he succeeds, and that only can happen when you really truly do have half the field locked down. You know, when you don't have a quarterback even looking that way, and there's been very, very few corners throughout history that you can actually say were true number ones. I mean, there's been a lot of guys who say they were, but there haven't been.
Yeah, there have not been. And teams value that number one corner, the ability to shut down one side of the field. And that's exactly what Quinyon Mitchell has been able to do throughout his Eagles tenure. And he was a guy who wasn't a big product coming out of Toledo. Yes, he was, a first round projected on draft boards, but didn't receive that national attention that most of these, cornerbacks receive coming out of Big Ten or SEC schools. But yes, this is, again, it'll be interesting to see what happens when that goes along, but you have to imagine Quinyon Mitchell is going to be a high priority once that does come to the table for the Philadelphia Eagles. But again, overall, they signed Jalen Carter. Their first practice training camp starts on Wednesday. I don't think they had press availability today, so unfortunately, no interviews with Sirianni or any of the big names there in Philadelphia. But despite that, the big news of the day is still Jalen Carter getting his big contract extension.
Quick question. Wait, you mentioned a couple of things, and I'm not sure if we're on the same page. Big name cornerback, shuts down half the field, out of the Big Ten, looking for a new contract. Ricky, why are you smiling? Do you know who I'm talking about right now?
Because that's exactly what Pittsburgh, the Steelers, are dealing with.
Do we need to take a break, or can we go right into Joey Porter?
We could go right into Joey Porter.
All right. Hey, it's your boy. You go right ahead.
Yes, Pittsburgh dealing with some drama of their own, allegedly, as Joey Porter, again, did arrive. There was video evidence of him arriving in Latrobe. I guess they had a short conditioning period today, and he was, after the press conference where two people were named on the physically unable to perform list, and Jalen Ramsey, his running mate, who had a knee injury during mandatory minicamp, and Dante Kent.
I forgot they had Jalen Ramsey.
Yes. So Joey Porter, allegedly a back issue, kicked up when he was on a bike during the 15-minute conditioning period.
Why did you say allegedly there?
Because coincidentally, he's also he's one of the players that was supposed to get paid this offseason, and there has been some, not allegations, but some speculation on the Steelers are far apart in a number between him and the Steelers. So ultimately, again, see what happens, but...
All right, they got to pay Hayward, they got to pay Watt, and they got to pay Porter. Who you paying?
Well, they already paid Watt and Hayward.
Oh, did they? Okay, I missed that. Sorry. See how much I'm paying attention to our show. See how much I'm paying attention to the show here.
Hayward, they paid. They've been taking it year by year, so they've been moving money around. And Watt they paid last offseason with the 3-year, $120 million deal. I think.
Wait, okay, I read something the other day that Watt was considering not.
No, he's
okay,
there.
He's there.
He had some press availability. He was part of the press availability today. But I do expect them to eventually pay Joey Porter Jr. because Pittsburgh has had terrible luck finding cornerbacks. And this is a guy who's number one homegrown. They drafted him. His dad played here as well. He's got deep ties and Pittsburgh roots. And yeah, Pittsburgh needs a cornerback. This system doesn't work without Joey Porter Jr. in it. They need him on that other side of the field. He's coming off of a big year. You saw him take that next step into elite cornerback territory. He's not in that tier 1 cornerback territory, but he's certainly in that, I think, that tier 2 cornerbacks where he shuts down the field, but not a guy who's going to get a boatload of interceptions. He just prevents touchdowns as he has not allowed one in 3 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, dude's good. Dude plays, and especially when that allows Jalen Ramsey to work in that Joker nickel
safety,
role. Yeah. I mean, Ramsey has added an extra part of his career, very much like
Charles Woodson.
I was gonna say Rod Woodson, actually, but
yes.
Charles for sure. But I was gonna say Rod only because of the Pittsburgh ties. But I mean, certainly that is something that needs to get shorn up. But in the same extent, if there isn't something that can be done, I don't think there wouldn't be a handful, if not a couple handfuls of suitors who are looking for a corner that would necessarily be able to work that deal out. But I don't think that they're looking to move, especially this year with Rodgers being its last year. They have to be in a win now. It's Super Bowl or bust. I hate to say, I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. Hold on. I don't think that they're a Super Bowl team necessarily, but the expectation has to be Super Bowl or bust. Am I wrong?
Yes, for as diluted as this organization it is, yes, it is. Technically, they believe that they could somehow get into a Super Bowl and win it with this team. I don't think that's possible, but they believe it. So I guess as long as they believe it, then.
But I mean, listen, if you're paying Aaron Rodgers, if you're paying Cam Haywood, I guess TJ Watt's still young enough, but if you're paying Rodgers and Haywood, and if you're making moves to improve the receivers for Rodgers, which, by the way, again, I still think this might be the best receiver room that Aaron Rodgers has ever had in his... the only other one that I can think of... No, I really can't think of a receiver room that I would prefer over DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr.
Ricky, the real question is Roman Wilson finally going to prove that he's actually alive?
I like Roman Wilson, too.
He's not going to get... Listen, I like Roman Wilson, too. I liked him when they drafted him, but things happened. He's probably going to be their wide receiver 4 by the time this team's...
Who's 3 again?
Their second-round rookie, Jeremy Bernard.
Yeah, but I mean, I love Roman Wilson.
I liked him, too, but... Unfortunately, I don't think. I think Rodgers did compliment him in his presser today, saying that he does expect some big plays out of him, and that's something he did do last year. You saw it in the Green Bay game. He can get deep.
And listen, I'm gonna say some names here, and they aren't wide receiver 4 names. But here's the funny thing: when they broke out, they were wide receiver 4. I mean, again, remember Devontae Adams was not very good to begin with. He dropped a lot of balls, and he was not their wide receiver 1. Again, Jordy Nelson was not originally wide receiver 1 for the Packers. Christian Watson, not originally wide receiver 1 necessarily for the Packers. There's been a lot of okay guys that Aaron Rodgers has turned into a wide receiver 1 or 2. And I'm optimistic to thinking that he can elevate Roman Wilson's game.
I think you are, because all of those guys you just listed are not like 5'10", 5'11". They're bigger.
How tall was Jordy Nelson?
It's like, I think he's what, 6'2".
Okay.
He's a bigger guy.
I'm just saying that he maybe he can. Maybe I'm still drinking the Aaron Rodgers tea.
Yeah, I like Roman Wilson, but I don't think he's going to be anything more than, this year at least, a depth wide receiver. I think Jeremy Bernard easily overtakes him because Pittsburgh has emphasized size and versatility on this offense, and that's something Roman Wilson doesn't have. He's more of a slot-specific wide receiver who's all of 5'10". But yeah, Jordy Nelson is 6'3".
Okay, maybe.
And I think all of those guys are at least
So what
6'2".
was I doing with Jordy Nelson? Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
He's a second-round pick. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Although no, Pittman and DK were both for second-round picks too. Yeah. So he still doesn't have a first-round pick.
It's okay. I mean,
this is what's
They tried. You can't say they didn't try. Makai Lemon.
In his career, the best first-round pick that Aaron Rodgers threw to. We're gonna go to break on this, but in Aaron Rodgers' career, the best wide receiver drafted in the first round that he ever threw to, Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. He's a good. Well, for one game.
He threw
Not
to him.
even.
Yeah.
Not even.
No. In the second season he was there. He threw to him a little.
Oh, yeah, yes, he was.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
All right, let's go to break. We'll be right back here. 28-22 Sports Night, and we're going to go from the NFL to although actually do we got sound?
We have sound.
Yeah,
I have a couple bites from.
All right, let's go. We'll be right back with some more from training camps. All right, welcome back. WBRE, WYOU 2822 Sports Night. Nate Johns joining us. Ricky Turner in the production chair, as always. My name is Zach Grady, sports director here at WBRE, WYOU. And it is officially football season. It's out of nowhere. But I'm looking at my rundown here. We got Steelers, Eagles, and Penn State. I mean, what else could you need? Although we do have some high school basketball tonight that we're looking forward to.
Yes, came out of the blue.
We got some high school basketball tonight. Cross-cutters, rail riders. So, there's all sorts of sports. This summer doldrum, it's over with.
Yeah, and also thank God the rail riders are on the road, or they would have been rained out tonight.
And thank God for the World Cup, because this summer doldrum lasted all of about 8 days.
Yes, it did.
And we got what? We got a athlete of the week this week. We got Bucknell Media Day.
Little League down the road.
Not down the road. We got Little League. Oh, down the. I get what you're saying. Like not down the road calendar wise, but literally down the road, like going on down the road.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, not today because everything got rained out.
Yeah, that's disappointing. But I mean, Williamsport is right around the corner. We'll be out there for 2 weeks straight. We got the high school football show coming up.
One month from today.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy.
What
happened to the year?
It went by.
I didn't lose any weight like I was planning on this year.
Well, there's always next year.
There's still just under half
couple
a
weeks.
year left.
Or that.
I mean, I was hoping to be like in football shape by the time football came around.
Still got a month.
Yeah.
There's still time.
And I'm not going to lie, I had some free time on my hands at the beginning of the year that I could have used to get myself in shape, and I did not do that. So it's like when you have the free time. We all did this. It's like, oh, if I had the time, I'd learn a language. I'd do this, I'd do that. And then COVID hit, and no one did a darn thing except watch Tiger King.
Yep.
Did you see Tiger King?
No. I've heard about it.
How did you not watch Tiger King?
I'm not a big Netflix guy.
You didn't need to be a Netflix guy. There was nothing going on in the world.
I found things to do, I guess.
The Last Dance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hit.
Did.
So good.
That was so good. Especially when they were like, hey, listen, this was going to come out in July, but we know you guys got nothing to do. So it's coming out in 2 weeks. It's like, all right, just bring it out now then, okay?
Exactly.
Last Dance was good. Look at us reminiscing about COVID. It's probably not a good thing.
There weren't many good things that came out. That was
there was not many good things about. There was nothing good about COVID other than The Last Dance.
Yeah. But speaking of The Last Dance, Aaron Rodgers. It's
Good
his
transition. What a transition. Thank you for getting me out of trouble.
It's his dance. It's his last dance, and him and a couple other Pittsburgh Steelers, along with head coach Mike McCarthy, talked a little bit about everything from what the offense could look like, what the defense could look like, as well as some injuries and, DK Metcalf threatening, jokingly threatening about how his NLI teammates NLI wide receivers have turned into some divas, allegedly.
He was not a diva either. Don't worry. I'll fill for you while we're working on it. I will fill. Don't worry. Hey, it's a black screen, but don't worry, folks. We're still here for you. You can hear my voice. You can hear what we're saying. There was Aaron Rodgers. It's all right. Bring us up at least, Ricky, so people don't see the black screen. All right, put up Nate on a one shot. Tell Nate, go ahead. An don't you talk a little bit about what, as Ricky gets ready, this is what we call filling for time. This is a good lesson for you as an intern to learn how to handle these situations in real time. So why don't we fill for time as we're getting ready for our fearless producer to get us going. Splash. Nate, Aaron Rodgers, is he going to finish this year as the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, or is Drew Aller taking over?
Well, if anybody's going to finish the year as the Steelers starting quarterback, it's not going to be Drew Aller.
Do not say Mason Rudolph.
We had Big Ten Media Day today. It's a new era for Penn State football. And it's a new era for Drew Aller learning how to play football. after whatever James Franklin and Danny O'Brien did to him. How many times in your life can you say you've heard a coach say they have to uninstall everything a quarterback learned in college? Because it feels like they're inventing new sentences. That is a sentence that has never been said before in the history of quarterback development at the NFL level. And yet here we are, where last year was such a disaster for Drew Aller. And he didn't even play the full year. He played in, 6 games? Yes, because they were, no, it was 6 games. Because they were 3-0. Then Oregon happened. Then UCLA happened. Then he gets hurt against Northwestern. So the last time Drew Aller was on a football field was in the beginning of October, getting booed out of the building right before his head coach got fired.
Did they just pay Drew Aller?
Oh, yes.
He just got signed the other day.
They had to sign him to his rookie contract.
Oh, okay. Are we good to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's try this again. Nate, that was a good job because I could feel you getting angry, and we might come back to you for more of that when we go to Penn State.
Oh, great.
So I just think, like anything, when a player comes off of the medical clearance, I mean, it's, you can't just go to 100 mile an hour. So, and I think you'll see that in how his reps go and so forth. But, Broderick is, he's been a starter here. He gives us position flex. I wouldn't say there's concerns. I think once again, you talk about, a great player. I've always admired Jalen from across the field, but he's wired like a coach. So his involvement, his engagement is going to be important. Not only not really for him, because we all need it, because he wants to be out there, and but really the connection with the others. I mean, this thing's not about 11 on 11, especially in the defensive backfield. He's a multiple position player. So, but we got to be smart. He's played a lot of football. We want to have a hell of a camp. Physicality. Stressing. Hitting the stress points that we want to hit. We want to be smart about it, but we want to take all the football with us.
I embrace it, man. This is year 10. I feel like I'm the first day of school for me, first day of everything. So still same dorm room, same eating in the same spot, same weight room, stuff like that. But there's still so much new that it keeps it exciting, keeps it fresh. You're going to see us moving all around. I know I say it every year, but I think you're truly going to see us moving all around this year. I mean, it's a better problem to have when you have guys that are really capable to affect the game in any asset, in any area. And I think that if we do things that we really set out to do in this training camp and get this thing like a well-oiled machine with us three, it'll be special.
We got to be under center. We got to be under center and get the action game going and the movement game going. So, but it starts under center. I think some of the best offenses in the league are not shotgun happy. They're not too shotgun happy. Obviously, in third down, give me a shotgun. But the more you can be under center on first, second down, I think is really important to being efficient on those downs as well.
Since we were, he was 50 years old and I was 10. We were kind of like trying to get used to the dynamic of everything. He was in a new place. I was in a new place. I think right now our communication is far beyond where it was last year when we first got to camp. He was at, a couple OTA practices, so was I. So I think, we're just leaps ahead of the communication aspect, how we view each other, how we communicate on and off the field right now. So I just think that was the biggest step, the biggest difference that I seen from last year. And I think it's just only going to continue to grow. I will say, bro, these NIL kids are a little too cocky for me. I'm joking. He's a real good dude. He's excited about the rookie gifts. He's excited about learning. He's excited about being in the offense, being in the room. He's very open, very honest, off the rip as soon as I met him. So just looking forward to, spending more time with him during the season, see how he works on the field. And yeah, we can both learn from each other.
Wait. Turn the sound off for a second.
Sound off where?
On McCarthy.
I could mute him.
Yeah, mute him for a second.
Okay.
And then put him up again.
So I just
What
think,
is wrong
like
with Mike?
anything,
Why is he
you know,
like
when a player comes
floating?
off
Like,
of
why does Mike
medical
McCarthy
clearance,
not
it's
look
something
like
you
any
can't
of
just
the
go
rest?
100
He
mile
looks
an
like a
hour. So,
Jedi. Why
you'll
does
see
Mike
that,
McCarthy look
you
like
know,
he
his
is
reps go and
showing
so
up
forth. But,
with the
you know,
hologram
Broderick is,
force of the
start,
Jedi Knights?
he's been
What is
started
wrong
here.
with Mike? Because
He
I
gives his
can't do this
position
all
flex.
season.
I wouldn't say there's
If this is how
concerns.
Mike McCarthy's coming
you
to
know,
training
I think
camp.
once again,
What
we
is
talked
that?
about,
When I first
you know, a
watched
great
this
player.
video,
I've always admired,
his
Jalen
YouTube
from
presser at
across the
home,
field,
I thought
but
the
he's,
same thing.
you know,
And then I'm
he's
like,
wired
okay, maybe
like
it's
a
just their
ghost,
camera.
you
Then
know,
I
so
watch it
his-
here. It's
his
yeah, I
involvement,
don't
his
like the
engagement
background.
is-
It looks
is
like
gonna be
there's
important,
light
not only just
gravitating
for him,
like
just
off
we all
of.
need
It
it.
looks like a
him.
mini
It-
green screen.
Yeah,
He
that's what I'm
does.
saying. Like, but none of
Because
the
it's much
other
like
ones
that.
look that way. The other ones look
This
like
thing's
they're
not about
actually
11
there.
especially
Mike
if
McCarthy
defensive
looks
back
like
there.
he's
He's a
shown up
multiple
in
position player, so, but he
R2
gotta be smart. You know,
D2
he's played a lot of
broadcast
football.
asking Obi-Wan, saying
We
he's
wanna
our
have
only
a hell of a
Aaron
kid.
Rodgers, you're our only hope.
Physicality,
The OBAA
stressing,
Yo, that's pretty
you know,
good.
hitting the stress
That's
points that we want to hit. We want to be smart about it, but we want to
Yeah,
take
I
all
don't
the
know
football
what-
with us.
What is that? Because look, he's not doing it.
TJ Watt looks normal.
Still
Aaron
same
looked
dorm room,
Super
same,
normal,
Aaron
like,
looked in the same
chilling.
spot, same weight,
Okay,
stuff like that,
if you're
but
going to tell me
there's still
any
so
one
much
of these
new that,
interviews is on
keeps saying
ayahuasca,
You're gonna
I'm not
see
saying it's Aaron
us
Rodgers.
moving all around. I know I say it every year, but I think you're truly going to see us moving all around this
What
year.
was with that?
Maybe it's
I think
just because it
it's a
looks
better
like there's like
problem to have when you have
yellow.
guys that are
Maybe
really
it's
capable
that
to
coming
affect
off
the
of the
fabric of the
fabric of the
shoe.
shoe.
I'm just telling you,
That's
like
the
the
only thing I
whole.
can
I didn't
vary,
listen
and
to
I
a
think
word
that,
he was saying because the whole time I was
if we do things that we
wondering
really
if he
set out to
was
do in this
doing a
training camp and
concert
get
later
this
on with the
thing like
Tupac
a well-oiled
hologram.
machine with us three.
Well, Mike was
it'll be
talking about, I
special.
think in the first answer, about Broderick Jones coming off of IR, or not IR, the PU, not being on the PU,
pup list,
the pup
yeah.
list. So it was a surprise, got cleared rather quickly, so he's ahead of schedule. And then in the second, talked about Jalen Ramsey. I guess the impact of him missing the first couple weeks, talking about how he's a veteran player. They do plan to use him a lot, but he's not too worried about it. But yeah,
You mean that the dude that doesn't love coming to practice figured out a way to miss the first couple weeks of
well,
practice?
they said he said he had a knee injury and would be out 2 weeks. And again, with everyone being in a new system, I don't think they would tolerate him not wanting to come to practice because it's a new scheme for everyone, and I'm sure that's the last thing they want. But should probably get
I
into
get that, but like, okay, if Aaron Donald showed up at any other practice other than the Rams, does he need to do anything other than put a helmet on and show up for game one?
Well, it's a new.
You still
it's
gotta
a new.
learn the scheme,
You still
yeah.
do need to learn the scheme because Pittsburgh's scheme last year was pretty generic. And Patrick Graham coming in here, as TJ Watt talked about, the defensive line's expected to be moved around a lot. And during the offseason, they named 3 players that Patrick Graham named 3 players that he really wanted to weaponize. One of them being Jalen Ramsey, and the other being TJ Watt and their inside linebacker Peyton Wilson.
Weird that a defensive coordinator to be successful wants TJ Watt and Jalen Ramsey
Well,
to have
yes,
a
they
good.
wanted to weaponize them.
Oh,
the terminology.
Yeah, I would
use.
hope so. I would hope to say, like, yeah, let's put our 2 best players in positions to succeed. I would hope that would be the goal.
Not
Yes.
everyone executes it that well.
Yeah.
No one does. I've been a Jets fan for many, many years.
Oh, Revis Island.
Oh, don't stop. Revis Island was executed.
He was,
Exactly.
Dude,
That was the
Revis
goal.
Island was amazing.
Revis didn't need a
And
scheme.
actually, stop with that because when Revis Island was on the team, the Jets were really good and they went to back-to-back AFC championships.
Exactly. It's an example of how you can execute something like that well.
Oh, okay. Well, I heard the sarcasm in your voice, or I thought I did.
Gonna have to get to break here because I know Nate wants to.
Before Nate breaks a chair over my head.
Yeah, Nate's
No.
Nate's gonna might break a chair over someone's head because Penn State Media Day. Matt Campbell talked a little bit about today.
All
so we're
right,
gonna hear
all
from
right,
Matt
all right.
Campbell.
And then we'll go, and we got SummerSlam too coming up.
Oh, joy.
All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back here. Nate, we're not going to mess around. 6-minute offense here. We're giving you the ISO. We're giving you the ball. Penn State Media Day. As a Penn State junior, how much angina do you have at the moment? Do you know what angina is?
No.
Okay. How much heartburn do you have right now?
Honestly, going into this season, the expectations are to contend, but if in a different way than Penn State is used to, especially from the end of the James Franklin era. We talked about last week whether or not James Franklin can win a national championship and whether or not Matt Campbell could be the coach to take Penn State over the top. This year is going to be important to lay the foundation for what is to come. Everybody's talked about, the schedule in the Big Ten. They don't face Indiana, who they almost beat last year. They don't face Oregon, who beat them twice. They don't face Ohio State, who they've never been able to beat. There are 3 main tests on this schedule. 2 of them are back-to-back weeks. And that's not to discredit, going on the road to Northwestern and the home opener, or Big Ten opener for their brand new stadium, which looks really cool.
With Chip Kelly.
With Chip Kelly, of course. It starts with USC, the game that many people expect to be the whiteout. That's potentially been spoiled by one of the recruits that will be on campus. I don't remember who it was, but do remember somebody mentioning that they would be on campus for the whiteout for USC. Then you go to Ann Arbor and Michigan, another team that Penn State has struggled with in the Franklin era, especially after, Jim Harbaugh finally found his footing and the Nittany Lions really couldn't do anything after that. And then at Washington. Those are the 3 main games. The floor for this team feels like 9-3. The ceiling feels like it could go as high as 11-1. I don't see a scenario where they go 12-0. But it's really going to come down to those 3 main games and that critical stretch in October. Because if you could beat USC at home in the whiteout, that's the signature win of the Matt Campbell era. Welcome to Happy Valley or whatever the call is going to be. I don't know. That's where the test begins. And then it's going to either have to be a bounce back or how do you build on that going into Ann Arbor, going into Michigan. That 2-week stretch is going to decide this Penn State season. If they go 0-2, there's every chance that they spiral a little bit, finish 8-4, 7-5, maybe drop one of those games at the end of the year at Maryland, hosting Minnesota, and the season feels like a bit of a disappointment. If you take one of those 2 and go 10-2, you're probably on the fringes of the college football playoff, not necessarily a lock to make it, just because, again, the lack of a resume building win is going to be there.
10 wins last year did not get Notre Dame in.
I don't know if 10 wins for this Penn State team is going to get them in either. Just because in that scenario, your best win is a USC team who might have underperformed expectations, a Michigan team who's going to be around that tier, or it's going to be over a Washington team that, maybe didn't meet expectations because of the drama over the offseason. And yes, Damon Williams came back, but there was the whole story surrounding when he transferred.
And it doesn't
how
seem
that
like
played
any
out.
one of those wins, when you get down to it, if there's a few teams with 10 wins or whatever that last team getting in, if those are your signature wins, I don't think that that's going to do it over an SEC team with 10 wins who might have a signature win, even if they won't be as good. But LSU at 10-2 is getting in.
Yes.
So
no
I just
question
think,
about that.
like anything,
Hey, Mike's back.
When a player
He's
comes off-
teleported back.
Mike wants to talk about Penn State. He's going
Mike.
to talk about Chireller.
All right, let's get to. We got some sound from Matt Campbell real quick. Let's
Yes,
get that
we do.
in first because we're running out of time here, and then we'll continue this conversation real quick.
I think what we have found in our short time here in State College, number one, is an unbelievable community that's wrapped their arms around myself and our family, our coaches and their family, and represent one of the proudest and most distinguished football fan bases in the country. And that's why I really believe it was a perfect fit for us, because we bring the right way. It's the primary reason why we took the job at Penn State, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I've always believed that when you put the right culture and you put the right people, that's what truly breeds success today in college football.
I thought the primary reason why he took the job at Penn State is because he didn't get the one with the Giants. Oh, I'm sorry.
He had an
I'm
opportunity to take NFL jobs before. This was
Detroit, I think they asked them later in the
G-
press conference.
Yeah, this was a conversation that was happening around the time when Campbell was being discussed, because I remember certainly I was discussing it with people who were like, he's had the opportunity at better jobs before, he hasn't taken it. And this one just felt different. It felt like the perfect time for him
He's
to
a good
get out of.
coach. He's a good coach. There's no doubt about that. And again, any good coach doesn't become a great coach until you win a national championship. Kirby Smart was, he's a good coach until he turned Georgia into Georgia. Dan Lanning was, he's a good coach. And he's still, he's a good coach. Mario Cristobal very closely is now going to be, I hate to say it, but I think Mario Cristobal is on his way to becoming a program builder and not just, he's a good coach, because That dude's building a program.
You better hope Miami doesn't flop this year. There's going to be some. Might have to go back and cut the tape.
There's going to be some receipts.
You can. I am telling you right now, I have no fear whatsoever in saying that Miami is going to be in the college football playoff, if not the national championship game.
I agree they'll be in the playoff. And that's kind of where tying it back to Penn State, that's where the ceiling is. Is this a playoff team in year one?
Yeah, no. The ceiling for Miami is not the same ceiling for Penn State.
I'm not saying that it is.
Okay.
That I'm just tying it back to the ceiling for Penn State is, can this team make the playoff? Can they somehow go 11-1, maybe sneak into the Big Ten championship game like they did back in 2024? If they can, it's a successful season. You know, the runway is there for year two. If it's a 10-2 season, I think that meets expectations, and you are hoping for another step into year two.
I think if it's a 10-2 season, that extremely exceeds expectations. And if the Penn State Nittany Lions are in the conversation when we get to the end, when we get towards college football season, that will be exceeding expectations. I don't think that anyone is discussing Penn State as a college football team, playoff team right now.
I don't think so either. I think they're going to be talked about in the way that Texas was at the end of last year, at the backstretch of the year. They're out of the conversation, but they're one of the better teams that will not make the playoffs.
No. I was saying as soon you can't say that, because as soon as Texas wins a game, Texas is back. And I'm not saying legitimately. I'm just saying as soon as Texas wins a game, Texas is back. So, all right, we got to go to break. We got to get one more in here before it's all said and done. So, all right, we're going to break. We're coming back. We're going to wrap up the show. All right, seeing we did, and we only have a minute left because we ran long a little today and didn't really time out our breaks properly. So seeing we have a minute left and we already did our way too early Super Bowl picks, might as well get in our way too early national championship picks as well. Nate, you went first last time, so I'll hold off. Ricky, you went last time, so we're snake drafting. You go first, I'll take the middle. Ricky, Nate, you can finish us out.
Okay, I'm going to go with give me the Ohio State Buckeyes.
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
And give me Georgia. I think Kirby Smart and crew gets back. Ohio State with Julian Sayin and the weapons that he has on the outside. That offense is improved in Sayin's second year. Ohio State gets the championship win.
All right. I'm going to take his Georgia and bring it in because I got Georgia as well. I like Georgia returning with Kirby Smart. After a couple of years, they feel disrespected. I think that team is deep. They may not have the superstars, but they have the depth. I got them losing, though, in the national championship game, and Mario Cristobal and the U is being back and them getting their national championship. And who you got?
I'll keep Miami in the championship. I think they lose to Mario Cristobal's old stomping grounds. I'm going to go Oregon. I think they have the depth. They have the superstars. I think this is the year that Dan Lanning breaks through going into year 4.
Dan Lanning ain't getting one before Mario Cristobal. I'll leave on that note. We will see you tomorrow, WBRE, WYOU, 28-22 Sports Night. We are going to check back in with the Eagles, with the Steelers, and we got day baseball with the Iowa Cubs taking on the Rail Riders. Oh, hey, we got a guest tomorrow.
Yes, we do. Bob Bertoni of District 1631 Little League.
All right, so make sure you tune in for that. We will see you tomorrow. This has been 28-22 Sports Night.